This picture made possible with funding by the letters L, G, T, B, and V. In the beginning of cinema, vampires were usually typecast as unsavory villains whose only reason for living was to get staked in the heart. Here's a typical example of the genre. A moody establishing shot of the sun going down over a tiny village or town. A series of fades transports us to the bedroom of a virginal beauty as she lies peacefully sleeping. Cut to the mausoleum, show the vampire. And her sleep is no longer peaceful. A montage of shots intended to produce a heightened sense of discomfort as the vampire stalks his victim. The vampire uses his powers to magically fade into the room, saving special effects costs. The blanket slides from her body to make her seem sexually vulnerable as well. She awakes. His spell broken, he turns and attacks. Cue the scream. That was until the 60s hit, and everything changed forever. The world was in turmoil and seemed headed toward chaos. It was a time of cultural revolution. Music became a voice of rebellion, and drug use became widely accepted. Public group hopping was decriminalized. And, for the first time, people could buy batshit crazy exercise equipment instead of just eating less. This revolution found its way into cinema when a very low-budget movie was released that made big-budget box office. The movie was super bad and was about a beatnik vampire poet who fights against vampire oppression, man.
Well, Superbad was the first exploitation or vampsploitation movie. There really was nothing like it before that. And the thing that made Superbad so special was that it was made with vampires as the leads for a vampire audience, which means that the people that were normally the heroes in movies were now the villains, the living, who would go and find a vampire and kill it, were now the bad guy. And of course the success of Superbad spawned an entire subgenre of movie that we call vampsploitation. Some of the titles: The Vampire Would Be King, The French Coffin Connection, Gone with the Sunrise, The Vampire Strikes Back, and my personal favorite, The Vampinator.
Another groundbreaking film in the genre was The Color of Blood Money. This film was known for pulling the female vampire out of the shadow of her male counterparts. A tough-as-nails vampire with a heart of gold, the role made the actor Jenny Fang a silver screen sweetheart. From the director of The Little Vamp.
Are you sure you aren't just a little undead? I think I feel some rigor mortis.
Comes a super sexy thrill ride.
And you know what they say? Payback's a bitch. And I'm that bitch.
What happens when an undead princess takes on the mob?
I should have known you were one of them. No man can be that good of a lay and not be evil.
Starring Jenny Fang as the luscious Duchess of Death.
That won't stop bullets, asshole!
The Color of Blood Money.
But I'm evil. So is it a bad thing that he's evil?
The year after her role in The Color of Blood Money, Jenny decided to take a trip for Europe. Unfortunately, in her travels, she happened upon a group of villagers who were up in arms at having a vampire in their town, and staked her while she slept. True death never came easy for a vampire. Not until the introduction of a powerful narcotic created from the dicing of a simple clove of garlic.
Yeah, we hung out with Johnny Blood.
He was a genius, man.
See, back in the day, there wasn't a lot of money on the scene, you know?
It was all about the scene, man. We were making art. And on the scene was this new drug.
See, in large quantities, garlic would kill vampires. but cut with holy water was a drug that was even better than sex.
Imagine the best orgasm ever had and multiply it by an even better orgasm. Not orgasms added together or one orgasm after another, but like orgasm squared. Orgasm squared plus one.
So on the table of Hollywood drug sex addiction equations, where alcohol equals a night of sloppy cunnilingus, and marijuana equals a long tantric session, but only when you can find the motivation, and then heroin is like the best orgasm times 1,000 and you're still nowhere close. To vampires, garlic is like the best orgasm you've ever had multiplied by an even better orgasm, or orgasm squared plus one.
Ask the cameraman. They always have some.
You got some? Yeah? She'll even suck your blood.
I promise, you won't hurt. Unless you wanted to.
I believe what you're trying to ask me is, do I believe that the vampsploitation genre is dead? And I do. And I'm actually kind of glad about it, and the reason why is because it causes a person to grow as an artist. For instance, right now I'm actually producing a reality TV show called Vampire Rehab. Now there's a lot of vampires out there, a lot of them out of the entertainment industry, who would become addicted to feeding on people who are high on some kind of a drug or alcohol. And we actually work through the process of addiction, trying to break that addiction or break the hold that addiction has on them. And it's a very painful, very humanizing process, and I think that you'll really enjoy it if you tune in. It's going to be showing Saturday nights at about 8 o'clock. We're still working on the time slot, but that seems to be the one.